What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. There's been a big, there's Hoonigan. Hoonigan where?
What?
Well, we were Hoonigan for last week. Was I busy? I was probably busy.
Oh, that's alright. It's just more of a nothing happened.
Nothing was
Nothing
going
happened
on.
this week.
Even if anything was out, there's been some decently big stuff this week.
Well, imagine if there was one last week. There'd be nothing.
There would have been nothing. I mean, then again, some fun ideas coming up for the Stick Drift Podcast from a debate that I began on Twitter, which, you know what, I can talk about before we go into a quickfire news section. On Twitter, so recently I started watching the Cars movies with my girlfriend, because they're movies of my childhood. Do you ever watch the Cars movies? Ever?
Probably. I don't remember them.
The Lightning McQueen, he does. I mean, I know you know what they are, but I mean,
I do know what a Lightning McQueen is. I mean, I'd imagine I have seen them at least once.
The first
I
one...
might not have seen the third one. I've probably definitely seen the first and second.
Yeah, the first one was he gets lost, but he's got a big wreck to get to, but then he finds friendship along the way. And then the second
one's a spy action thriller.
A spy movie with Mater. And then the last one, my official review of all three is like the first one, just as good as it's always been. Second one, always been rubbish, yet somehow worse than I thought it was. And the third one, always been pretty good, but honestly, better than I thought it was. Like, I watched them all, but watching them again, the third one's pretty alright.
Now you gotta watch Planes.
And now... Didn't they make, like, 7 of those?
I know there was at least 2. I don't think they were numbered, though. I think they did them in random whenever they felt like it.
They weren't even... I don't even think they're by Pixar. They're, like, so technically a Cars movie. They got... Yeah, it's Planes, Fire and Rescue.
Yeah.
And I think there's never been a Planes 3. Yeah, Planes cancelled movies, Wiki.
Planes is an American animated sports comedy.
Sure. Oh, I mean, it follows the same kind of thing. It goes, if you really boil it down, it goes, a guy is an Actually, no, it doesn't. No, they are bad movies. I watched the first one. I never watched the second one.
I've never seen any of them. I'll imagine they're masterpieces.
I'm surprised I'm surprised you know what they are, like that they exist.
I've seen bad clips of it.
Yeah, when do we get boats? That's what I'm waiting for. When do we get hovercraft?
They run out of motor trends. They're gonna get bicycles soon.
Exactly. Bicycle's the movie. But I watched those 3 movies, the Cars 1, Cars 2, and Cars 1, Cars Fire and Rescue, and Cars 3. And that, yeah, like I mentioned, the reviews and whatnot. But when I got to Cars 3, Cars 1 always had the NASCARs. And I didn't mean to say 3 there. I meant when I got to Cars 2, the first one had the NASCARs. Lightning McQueen was the only one that looked nothing. No, they're like all generic NASCARs. Then there's a Charger Daytona. Chick Hicks, which is just like a cube. He's like a
yeah, I mean, they're all different generations. They had the...
Is that what they
I can't
are?
remember if it's 1, 2, or 3, or 2, 3, and 4. I think it's 1, 2, and 3. You got 1, 2, and 3 for the Daytona, the Square, and the Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, and then you had the Charger. I just searched Charger. Am I dumb?
I'm sure it'll come up if you look hard enough.
Yeah, but the Charger Daytona's the... I mean, I want to see that NASCAR. Like, this was a series? Like, that thing looks quite cool.
Well, I mean, it was just the out of necessity broken and better, wasn't it? Because take off the stupid front triangle and it's just at the wing and it's just a regular Charger underneath.
Yeah.
It's just more aerodynamic.
I imagine it's insanely aerodynamic. And then we got the Lightning McQueen, which is nothing. He's just kind of a weird amalgamation of
He's
something.
like the newer, like, sort of Camry style, where they're just plastic shells on metal frame.
He's rather round, is also what he is. But those 3 look nothing like every single one of the other NASCARs from that movie in Cars 1. Cars 1 NASCARs. Because the rest of them are just like what regular NASCARs look like at the time, I guess.
I
can't
don't
really
remember.
find pictures
I'll
of them.
imagine they are.
Cars 3 then goes back to NASCARs, but has these next generation cars, which aren't a real thing unless they are. What is Jackson Storm supposed to be? This guy.
Real. I don't know. He's very angular.
Yeah, but apparently he's in NASCAR now, which he just looks like he's got stuff inside of him rather than being just like a shell and the frame of a car, which NASCARs often are. This one actually...
He has got stuff inside him, to be fair.
I imagine so. But Cars 2, on the other hand, had a very interesting racing series called the World Grand Prix, which would make no sense in real life, but it's a race between, I'm about to find the list, a NASCAR in Lightning McQueen, a Formula 1 car, a touring Corvette of some kind, some kind of racing McLaren, a bone stock car, carbon fiber swapped, a rally car, 2 LMP, I think you said, cars?
One on the left's more of a made-up thing, but the middle one is LMP, yeah.
Then a Aston Martin touring, something touring? Looks like another Corvette.
Another generic touring series.
And then a Formula 1000 is what I heard the bottom one be called. Klutchgonski. Is some kind of Formula 1000, 4000, 2000, I don't know, Formula something.
Formula Million, I don't know, they make them all up at this point.
Exactly. And there's this race that goes on. And now, the thing is, growing up, I watched the Cars movie before I came into consciousness. Because I remember having Cars stuff and just being a Cars fan by default when I was born. Like, I don't actually remember getting into it. I remember that I already enjoyed that movie. Cars 2 was the first one I actively watched. And I was at the age where I thought that was a great movie. I thought that was an amazing movie. I was all over it. Cars 3, it was like, oh my god, Cars is this now? Whoa. That was 2017, by the way, ages ago now. But Cars 2, I loved, because that was the age to love a movie like that. And I was really invested in the World Grand Prix. And then when I came back to watching them, my official opinion on it was, I'm incredibly disappointed by the lack of, like, a needlessly long, 3 hours, guy in front of a board with pins and the pictures pinned up on the wall, or needless over-the-top Sunny V2 editing, video essay, deep dive onto which one of these would actually win the World Grand Prix. A NASCAR F1 car, 5 different touring cars, 1.5 LMP cars, and a stock car. Like, because it's...
I need to see their sector times. You need analytical data.
I would want just, like, so much lore. I would want so much lore. In fact, recently, I sort of challenged Alex7, and you and Karen then came in on it as well. Alex7 challenged me to say... Now, we talked about this before, and your boiling down was Shu Todoroki, the LMP car. For, I think you said the reason was like...
Well, we've seen Lightning McQueen can, on that dirt oval, has a grip on slicks.
Yeah.
So, obviously, in the Cars universe...
Yes.
When you're on dirt, your slicks aren't absolute trash like they would be IRL.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the LMP will have good grip off-road, good grip on-road, insanely high top speed. And I don't know, implying that F1 car just nukes his chin on a rock and I don't know, very graphically, his jaw comes up, I don't know.
Yeah, he's just leaking oil all over covered. But essentially, it's like F1 would get nuked way too hard in the dirt section, and the LMP...
It depends, though. Because they can clearly raise themselves at will.
Yeah, that's the thing. So
could he not, like,
I mean, Francesco's
around?
Francesco's doing jumps in some of the footage for it, but like I think Alex said a good point, a very good point, is he put an image of this. This is one of the sections of the dirt. Is this. So, for audio listeners, it's just the most curvy dirt you've ever seen.
Basically, what is the time lost on dirt for all the cars on slicks?
Yeah,
because...
And because of that, Alex7 and other people who have agreed are saying that Raul Saul, the rallycross car, out of F1 cars, NASCARs, and LMP cars, the rallycross car would win, is the claim. And the thing is, I've been chucking in more details because we know some of the layouts of the races. We know that some are like 54 laps, they take an hour, so like a minute-ish a lap, roughly, for Lightning McQueen. And we know the full layout there. And they're claiming that the dirt section, which, it's fair, the dirt section, which is 33% of the Japanese track, would nuke everyone so hard that the rally car would win.
IRL, yes, but we have seen that these slicks are otherworldly.
Yeah, but even IRL, right? My thinking is, wouldn't
IRL, they all understeer on slicks into the first corner and die.
But
So,
hear me out, right?
Go to the breakers and you're gravel and you just
Surely the rally car, fuel economy on the rally car has to be rubbish compared to some of these.
I don't think the Corvette's got the greatest fuel economy on the planet.
Okay, well, yeah, but it's a touring Corvette, right? I imagine you said something about, like, depending on when this movie was made, the LMP could be diesel, meaning
could be a brokenly better diesel LMP car.
And presumably he wouldn't have to pit, like, ever. And
well, it's only an hour-long race. You could go a week.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, then there's also, I mean, now that I look at it, the Formula 4000 or whatever, his wing is eating it. The first
he is just, the second there's a bump, just dead stopping.
He's touching the ground. Like, I mean, he's supposed to be the rookie as well anyway, but I think there's a very interesting way this could be done. I think the way I would do it is the same personality of the car, but they're using the real life tools that they're given instead of jumping around and hopping over stuff and whatever. The ranking that someone gave, you and Karen, I believe, gave, was, if I can find it, P1, Raul, basically built for those tracks. P2, Lightning McQueen, NASCARs can race in dirt too. That's a claim. That's a claim from you and Karen. Everyone else DNFs is his claim. Which
NASCARs can race on dirt if they're set up for it.
That's a fair point. Okay.
If you have a dirt setup, you are going to be trash on the road.
Are we bringing prep time into this?
He's on slicks.
I'm looking at it right now, right? I'm looking at it right now. Most of them are on slicks, but those don't look too much. I mean, they might be, but I don't know if those are slicks.
If it's in a touring car class, they will be slicks.
Okay, that does look like slicks.
If not, they're on semi-slicks, which aren't much better.
Okay. So say they're all on. I mean, what would have to be the balance then? But they'd have to be on slicks for it to be fair, because it's what they are, you know. But it's like if they all got swapped out to the same tires.
It's a wholesome, personality story.
But if they all got swapped out to regular the same tires, right? And they're not slicks. What happens?
In the Cars universe, they could raise themselves up to gain ride height.
Yeah.
So theoretically, it is on all the same tire. It's just whoever's quickest.
My thinking is, right, like, there's such long straight sections. Such long straights. That, like, okay, Raul is the only one who makes it through the dirt at any speed, right? 54 laps. You're telling me in 66% of the race, times 54, the F1 car isn't catching up. The LMP car isn't catching up. And yes, they'll be instantly slowed down the moment they hit dirt again. They'll just sort of be at cruising speed. But surely they could at least go at, like, 20 through the dirt sections, right? At, like, a light cruise. and not instantly slide out. Because the wheels would still be going a certain way. They'd still be turned a certain
I
way.
mean, on slicks, they would probably all DNF at some point. None of them are all staying on the track for the whole time. Maybe some of the touring cars.
Yeah.
Maybe if you baby them, but they're going to come so far behind.
But I thought maybe at some point soon it would be a lot of fun to get Alex Evan and Ewan on the podcast, a bonus episode of 4 people, and debate who would truly win, top to bottom.
It
no
depends
DNFs.
what rule. If we're going on car universe rules,
Exactly.
or IRL,
We'd
because
have
there's
to-
different outcomes.
Yeah, we'd have to decide that as well. I guess what, real life, it's just Raul? Is he the only one who
I
manages it?
mean,
Because the thing is, everyone says Francesco runs away with it. And I've just never thought that. But now everyone's like, Raul
there will
runs
be a
away with it.
mechanical failure. His gearbox or engine would implode IRL.
Who? Francesco or...
Francesca.
Yeah. I mean,
They have basically no suspension. This poor gearbox is going to be
Raul's
vibrating
like-
half the time.
Raul's like an old school Citroen of some kind.
Oh, he's not making it to the end, though.
Exactly, right?
He's going to have, like, I don't know, the car's what equivalent of heart failure or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
His arteries
But-
going to get clogged and he's just going to stop. I don't know.
If we minus DNF, what I'd want to do is, sure, maybe in this debate we do end up deciding Raul wins. But what I'd want to do is I'd want to do top to bottom full list of the order, no DNFs. Like, even if there is DNFs, the order that goes. I'd want to figure this out once and for all. Who would win the World Grand Prix of just the most odd amalgamation of cars put together on a dirt track section having race? And that's how I spent my weekend. Week, essentially.
A week, yeah.
But yeah, honestly, watching all 3 of those movies again, like I said, they round off nicely. It's nice that everyone just pretends Cars 2 didn't happen. Like,
LMP would be all-wheel drive as 2, depending on the generation.
exactly, which is why he'd definitely win. And
Realistically, if the tyres have the grip of the Cars universe, if slicks have the level of grip they have been shown to have in the Cars universe, and they can raise themselves up, that has been shown they can do in the Cars universe,
yes.
LMP wins.
I would.
All-wheel drive, has a grip off-road as well, has insanely high top speed, has good downforce.
The way I'd want to do it is, it's the characters, and I guess, yeah, they have the same physics as the Cars universe, but they're using the real stats of the car. Like, Miguel Camino, but he's actually using whatever the stat. I should have picked one who's a real car. Nigel Gearsley, but he's actually, and yes, he can like hop around or whatever, but he's racing with the stats of an Aston Martin touring car of some kind. And then we got Jeff Corvette and whatnot, and who comes where. But moving on
The
from...
generational debate, who wins?
Exactly.
In Cars,
and people will be debating on it forever until we
the talk of
settle
the
it.
town.
We will settle it once and for all. But then we can go on to quickfire news. We're just gonna, you know what? We're gonna goddamn rapid fire some headlines because they ain't
Rapid fire some headlines,
Yeah.
implying there's plural, which is...
Well, new 2024 Audi 3 RS3 Saloon. It's been spotted.
Is that?
Spotted. Yeah, look at it. It's
Whoa.
beautiful. Your opinion?
I'm surprised they still... When was the last time you saw an RS3 Saloon?
I would never register seeing an RS3 Saloon. It's the most generic looking
It has
Audi
4
I've seen.
exhausts. You'd see it from behind. But
Okay.
I mean, they're so... People buy the Avant. No one buys
Yeah.
the Saloon because saloons are just massively out of fashion in the UK.
Speaking of spotted, while spotted, we got BMW new class A.
New class. It's like Mercedes S-Class or something.
I suppose, yeah, sure.
Terrible name.
Again, spy photos. It looks like it's going ugly now. I look at it. Look where, like, if you see where the grills are. Oh no, does it?
It
Have...
will be badged iX3 when it releases in the US. Good luck
Oh.
to all the US citizens that have to endure seeing this on the road.
Am I crazy? Or it looks like it's got those, like, you know, those two tiny exhaust, like, you know, those old
Exhaust grills.
grills, right? You know
Yeah.
those old school square BMWs? It looks like it's got one of those grills, right? Like the
It's the
tiny bits.
sensors.
Is that what it is? Is that okay?
100%. It's hiding the sensor array. Because it will have
Okay.
radar, adaptive cruise control, and all that if it's in the US.
Well, yeah, because looking at that, you get what I mean, though, right? Like it looks like
Yeah, no, it looks like it has the old like 5 Series kidney grill
yeah,
style
the little
design,
two,
but it
the
doesn't.
two. Oh,
It doesn't.
oh, that would have been cool.
Unless they've decided to go back on their design brief and they're gonna put small kidney grills with the sensor array in, but I doubt it.
Exactly.
And those wheels are horrible.
A new Vauxhall Astra Sports Tourer Electric arrives. Whoa. I mean,
£40,000 for an Astra.
what I want to say, right? I claim to be a wagon man recently. It's kind of just the Panamera, Taycan, and Audis that I like. I like BMW wagons.
I'm a big fan. Petrol version is good because it's cheap.
Yeah, I
This
suppose,
for
yeah.
£40,000 is not worth it. But imagine you could buy this for, say, 30. You want a wagon. You need a wagon to transport things.
Yeah,
You got 30
yeah.
grand. You
I
can
mean-
buy one of these, and it will transport items.
This thing is harmless as well. Like this thing doesn't look offensive. Some BMW wagons I look at and I'm like, that looks bad. This thing's harmless. I think this thing will be fine to own. I mean, it's whatever. It's like AI.
I'm
traffic
amazed
for
they still
wagons.
make it because it's on the platform of the Astra sedan,
Oh,
which
okay.
hasn't been around for ages. They just keep updating the Astra sedan base
Yeah.
to have the wagon, but they don't make an Astra sedan anymore. Not for like for 2 gens now, I don't think.
I mean, at what point is it the Astra wagon base then? Like at what point is it just this?
Well, the
thing's
issue is they
base?
keep doing like a Ubisoft and it is the Astra sedan base.
Oh,
They
but
take the old Astra sedan base and like put a longer body on it. There you go.
And then we've got Toyota fined 60 million for illegally building high cost what?
Essentially, they were bundling warranties and paint protection things into finance agreements.
Oh, and what they
Illegally.
were like too expensive or it was illegal, right? Like I mean,
Doing
I don't
a
know.
deal where you're like, I would like 1 car, please. Would you like a warranty? No, thank you. They bill you for the warranty.
Oh, okay. So they were just billing you for stuff you weren't actually. Okay, that makes sense. That is
Moreover,
yeah.
paint, I think. They weren't disclosing paint protection stuff as well. So you buy the car with the base MSRP. When the dealer gets it, which I don't know how this is legal, but they'll put a tin or a paint protection film on the car,
Yeah.
and then up the value, up the MSRP basically, up it to say it's £68,000 base MSRP. They put tin and paint protection on it, and they'll charge 70,000, but they won't disclose that it's 70,000 because the tint and the paint protection. They're just like, oh, here's a £70,000 Corolla, buy it, please.
And I guess Toyota were just doing that in house. I guess so.
Well, it's Toyota Finance,
And I suppose,
not Toyota Motor Company.
Okay.
Toyota Finance car.
and I suppose if it's actually gonna be like a warranty kind of thing, I imagine it's bad that drivers
I mean, they're
don't.
making interest on the finance agreement, so
Yeah.
they're making interest on every penny over MSRP that the vehicle has been charged, even if they're not disclosing that to the customer.
I was gonna say, but on top of that, like the customer just won't know that they have that, right? Like what? Like say a situation comes up where you need to get it fixed, or I don't know what happened. I don't know what it is, but imagine a situation comes up where you actually have to do something with it. Presumably, the customer wouldn't actually know that they even have it. Oh, I imagine maybe a customer goes to do it.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the infinite money glitch.
yeah.
Tell them a warranty they don't know they have, so they never use it.
And then exactly, there's that. And then maybe they come back and get a different warranty. Or if it's paint protection or whatever, maybe they go and get more paint protect. I mean, they'll be double protected.
Apparently, they also stopped
But-
customers cancelling policies
Oh, nice.
so they could keep the monthly payments higher.
Nice, great, okay, brilliant. I'm glad they got fined. I wish
Thank
it was
you, Toyota.
more. Yep. Speaking of thank you, actually, no, I'll come back around to that. Last
And
headline.
I think the issue is they got
Oh.
fined so little is it's not Toyota Motor Company who were fined, it was Toyota Finance
And would
Company.
they have way
And
less
because
money?
their revenue and their money they have isn't as much as Toyota Motor Company, they can't get fined as much.
Okay, I thought it would be
Volkswagen
like-
should have been on this one for Dieselgate. They should have had
right.
Volkswagen Emissions Company.
In fact, I'm gonna, I'm gonna blame it on Volkswagen. Actually,
Yeah, I can't believe Volkswagen would do this.
exactly. And speaking of German cars, the Panamera got a facelift. It's more of a face put back down. I mean,
Put it down, please.
the
Thank you.
the front, it's just sort of gotten a bit maybe beefier,
The
and
front's
this,
gotten a worse front grille and more bulbous, which
like,
sure.
what's going on in the front though? Like, it's just so messy. Like, what's going on there? It's just so, I don't like what is going on?
It has the oil coolers, I assume they are, in the front and right, the far right and the far left grills.
Yeah.
And then it just has the radiator behind the middle one.
And then like a sensor
I
of some kind? I don't
Set
know.
up that'd be for cruise control.
Yeah.
But
And then the back is like really segmented for some reason. Like, what's being segmented there? Like, it's just randomly got like parts on the back. I keep stealing the tab instead of the.
I
moving
think
it.
this is one of the only cars I could say would have benefited from an active aero radiator system.
Yeah, but like.
Because it would hide the stupid front grille when you drive it along, and when it actually needs that much cooling will open.
Exactly.
Because it just looks
right.
stupid like that.
And then the back.
And one stone going through that oil cooler, and you are done.
Yeah. But then at the back, it's got 4 exhausts, which is kind of cool. But it's like the boot is weirdly like it's got the line for the boot.
That boot is tiny.
And then it's just got like a random extra line. That line really annoys me. I don't know why it's that. What is it? It really annoys me.
Are they two separate panels to cut production costs?
Well,
or
they
is it
look
just...
like 2 separate panels. They look like they are, 2 separate panels. So, I don't know. Bad vehicle, IMO.
No more wagon either, so yeah.
Exactly. So,
Do with
Porsche,
that what you will.
bad now. Then finally, e-tron, speaking of facelifts and German cars, e-tron also got a something.
New Celica as well, but yeah. e-tron, I mean, no one buys these, so...
Yep.
Thank you, Audi. It really, really looks like a BRZ in that image to me.
Yeah, this thing?
The e-tron, the light. I think it's just the lights and the coupe shape. It just kind of... You squint really hard and got 5 miles away.
I really don't see. I don't think I'm ever seeing that. No. I mean, it's probably low res enough for the video viewers that they might be able to, but
go on. If that is a thing, yeah, no, maybe you're right. But
that
is a BRZ.
Before we talk about the brand new Celica, I want to remind you, head down there, leave a like on the video, share it with your mates and whatnot. Oh, by the way, thank you to Ubisoft for giving both of us early access to the Hoonigan update, which we'll talk about later. And watch the podcast all the way through, and it's all cool and BRZ. Celica. Toyota might have been fine for doing a bad, but they're doing what some people may see as a good. Now, this is a render, to clarify, by Autocar.
Autocar have done one of their...
Yep.
Look, these could look like renders.
Exactly. And speaking of Autocar, the boys of Autocar have reported new Toyota Celica to blend radical EV tech with old school thrills. Now, this comes at a time when Toyota, after doing only the BZ4ZX, were also being in cahoots with, I think now no longer, 2 different companies? Or something?
So again, I was reading.
The MR2 returning.
I don't think it, like... It's not the MR2, is it? It's the FT-SE.
So, a reborn Toyota
Yeah,
Celica.
basically a rear-wheel drive electric sports car
Yeah.
that was meant to be between Subaru... No, so Suzuki, Daihatsu, and Toyota. I think is now just a Toyota-only project.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that'll ever make... They keep showing prototypes of it. And they keep getting more and more... FTSE?
Yeah. I forgot they already showed this thing. Completely
Yeah, they showed one of these.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Completely forgot about that. Concept still, but this thing has been seen. And they've done this, and then you were mentioning about it?
I am lost now. I said something about it. I do remember that. What was that about?
They've done that, and now they're doing the Celica, apparently, which, of course, I don't even know when the Celica got cancelled. It used to be...
No, a fairly long time ago.
Yeah, it used to be like this render. I never liked this render style of Celica. I much preferred the rounder bug-eye one.
The Celica was a Honda coupe kind of thing, like sort of 4-cylinder, 150-ish horsepower, front-wheel drive coupe. It was never really a sports car. It was more of a...
Yeah.
You want a sporty coupe that isn't very fast, that isn't very expensive to run, and you want it cheap.
Yep. This one I never really liked. You're gonna have to tell the viewers what version that is. The
last gen. There's so many. I think it's the Mark 7.
Yeah.
It's the last generation of Celica. It's like 2007.
I much prefer the 4i one. The
one that had the GT4 variant. Yeah, they're cool.
So much over. Like I've seen one of these very recently in person. Much better than the other one. This one just looks like a fake.
Just as slow, by the way.
I mean, well, I'm glad to hear it. I'd have it no other way.
Keeping up with consistency.
But this one here, the newer gen or something.
The 07. The
07 gen, that one, it just looks like a fake car to me. Like, it just looks like a toy car, a made-up toy car. I don't
like the... You see the bonnet panel gap continues into the fender? They kept that line going across. I hate that.
Yeah.
It just looks like the entire front's gonna fall off.
Look, no, yeah, there is that. It looks like it's wearing its headlights as glasses.
It's way too high at the back. It's like it's on stilts.
Yeah. And then there's just perfection. And then it's just, I mean, this is the Supra but cooler. I'm saying that. I'm saying that right here, right now. The Celica, this generation, 4i generation, Supra but cooler.
I mean, the Celica GT4 is banger car.
Which of these is more recent out of which of these is more recent? Like, which is more likely that they'd actually base a new one on?
I mean, everyone prefers this generation of Celica that's on the screen now, the GT4 Rally. The run that was rallied, the rally version.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's going to be more based off... I don't even think they're going to base off any of them. I think they're going to do an MR2 and just kind of be like, here is a modern sports coupe. Have it.
Does the MR2 not look like the MR2?
No.
Does it look like... Oh.
Search Mark III MR2 and tell me the new one looks
MR2.
anything like it.
I mean...
It's square.
It is square. Oh, the MR2 is that... Is it? No, if they just parked it next or whatever.
That's a Mark 1 and a Mark 3. I don't know what... No Mark 2, I guess. You don't get one.
Oh, well, these two... Okay. I mean, yeah, I see what you mean about how they are just, like, if I ever knew which one of these tabs it was. But I get what you mean, yeah.
The new MR2 isn't... It's not supposed to look called an MR2. It's called the FT3S... Whatever.
I mean, I guess we're starting from scratch then. It doesn't really matter what it looked like before. We're starting from scratch. It could look like anything now then.
Yeah. It just depends whether they want the Celica to be what it was before, an entry-level sports coupe, or they're going to take it up market and make it a rear-wheel drive sports car.
Well, the point is
we'll
that
find out in 10 years by the time this thing comes out.
I mean, then again, the MR2 was only talked about, like, I want to say, I mean, the Stick Drift podcast existed when we started first hearing about that, and it's already been shown concept-wise, so...
Yeah, I don't think they want it to come out till 2025, 2026 is the issue.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? That's the thing about having you know, you have a movie podcast, and it's like, oh, they announced this, and a year later, it's like, oh, this one came out. On a car podcast, it's like, oh, so they announced.
Although if Toyota are watching, send us an MR2, a new one.
I mean, we would absolutely. I mean, we love the MR2. I mean, I think it's great. I think it looks exactly like the old ones actually. Now, if you sent me one,
did you not just show an image of the Mark
I thought it was the same.
MR2?
I know. I could have sworn it was the same car.
What?
But the thing with a car podcast is, it's like, oh yeah, so these EU legislations coming in. This is terrible. I can't believe it. And then in 10 years, we'll tell you what happened when it actually went through.
Yeah.
Same with car brands. I mean, there's been better turnover than I was expecting. The Vuelto teased to release. The Ferrari SUV teased to release. Like,
is there any others?
I think that's the only ones that have got
Two in what, 2 years? Going strong.
Yeah. It's
you never know. We might see the e-tron restart come.
They really give us good for weekly news. Also,
back next year on the Stick Drift podcast.
Before we move on to Motorfest, time for the weekly segment of the Stick Drift podcast. How much price has the Taycan lost now?
This is a new segment that is being introduced.
So last time on the Stick Drift podcast, the Taycan launched as a £150,000 car.
Depends on you get base model is about £100,000.
Yeah.
The top spec is about 170.
And we broke the news for sure. It was us who broke the news. But
I didn't send it to the TikTok about it at all.
No, of course not. He got it from us. But just uploaded it before. But the Taycan, I believe the first time we talked about it, it was 70,000. I think. I want to
I
say
think
it
they
was
were down in
70s.
the. I think it was mid-60s. I think it was mid-60s.
I think it was like 65s to 69s is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, and drum roll. How much is the Taycan worth now? The £100,000 car is. You're gonna have to know. I don't know. I thought I was expecting you to check.
£49,999 was the what listed 2 days ago.
So it's halved. It's halved in value. This car came out less than 5 years ago. I want to say.
It's still up. I imagine it will still be up.
Yeah.
I want to see what is it a base spec.
Because I mean, the upwards ones might be more, but they also might have lost more value. To be fair, the higher end ones. Because surely, if someone was gonna buy one, they'd buy but maybe they'd want a business expense more.
There were almost 600 Taycans for sale, by the way, so we're getting up.
Yeah,
up there. It's still there. It's sorted by relevance. It's there. So.
What is it? What's still there?
Porsche Taycan Performance.
Okay,
it's the...
so not base.
I think that is the. No, it's the 4S. It's not the base. You're right. It's the 4S. It is the smaller battery pack one though. It is it is the 80 kilowatt hour one, not the 93. But £49,990. They've broken the £50,000 mark.
And that was this week's segment of How Much is the Taycan Worth This Week? Tune in next week.
If you're looking for a Taycan.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. If you're looking for a Taycan, tune into next week where it might even be in the 10,000s. But I think it's only been 2 weeks, right?
If you sort by new,
yeah,
there's multiple with over £10,000 off list price. Brand new. They can't sell these.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean,
and we will have our finger on the pulse. That's 2 weeks, right? Though that's like I feel like we talked about that last episode, so that's only 2 weeks. That
the issue is. They are going to plateau. There is going to become a point where people see 2-year-old cars, 2-year-old luxury cars for half off MSRP, and they're just going to start buying them up in droves.
Yeah.
It's just, where is that point? Is it at £50,000?
Yep.
Or is it at 40 or 35?
Yeah. And that's gonna be very, very, very funny. But and maybe it goes up 1 week. You know, maybe.
But you never know. Maybe next week it's gonna be £54,000.
The segment ends when it gets back to 100k.
So never then.
Yeah.
Gonna start selling base models for above MSRP just so they get to 100k.
But yeah. So let's move on to the Hoonigan update for the Crew Motorfest, which dropped very oh well, it hasn't dropped. It's dropping
tomorrow.
It's dropping in 2 days.
No, day after tomorrow.
Tomorrow is actually the GTA 6 trailer, which I'm surprised we didn't talk about. Like, how have we not talked about that yet? Like, we really.
There's no trailer though. What do you mean? How have we They showed an image.
I mean, yeah, but like,
whoa,
I'm surprised.
There's trees.
I'm surprised we didn't talk about that. Okay, I'll save that for next week then.
Yeah,
we'll talk about next week, and then I get to use 2 thumbnail titles. We get GTA 6 out of there too, and presumably there'll be cars in that trailer. Ooh.
What?
And we could probably have the discussion of, should there be real life car brands? Because that'll work. No. But then we have I believe we have
Crew Motorfest. That is indeed
2
a video
days
game.
from now. Made earlier embargo because GTA 6 comes out. We have the drop of the Hoonigan update, and I'm trying to think. In my brain, I'm so instinctive to be like, "What's public? It's all public now." So, what do we get with this brand new Hoonigan update? Well, I suppose I could actually go on the update.
You can share.
Yeah, I could actually have it open for the video viewers. But we got 3 months into the game, the first ever major update that the Crew Motorfest has ever received. This one is based around Hoonigan, the massive, iconic racing. What are they? Because I was trying to explain.
They're a brand, really.
Are they a brand? Yeah. Because I was trying to explain to my girlfriend what they were, but I just sort of couldn't. But I was like, racing, media. I was like racing media conglomerate is what I said in the end.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like no, yeah, no, they are just a brand.
Exactly, yeah. The massive racing brand or car-based brand known for the Hoonigan, Hoonicorn, which is an old school Mustang that is souped up to the point that it's unrecognizable.
All the Gymkhana stuff they do.
Oh yeah, massive Gymkhana stuff. Chevrolet got them to make a Camaro, but like with a massive big block sticking out the front. They've got some Audis, some Porsches, a bunch of Porsches. They've got stuff like the e-tron.
Got a ton of vehicles, yeah.
Audi paid them to have it's based on
It's
a
a
Quattro.
concept e-tron thing.
Yeah, it's based
it's like
on the S1 Quattro, but is now a big e-tron cool looking thing. That they're also known for. And more recently, this versus that, their very popular series of...
That's all they do now, but yeah.
Yeah, their series for this thing versus that. Game is very loud, my bad. But yeah, they got this versus that, and that's about it, I suppose. They are now in the Crew Motorfest with a few things. One that was very surprising was a brand new island that they added into the game, as well as a playlist, which everyone was expecting because they said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
We got a playlist, we got a bunch of cars, we got some shop editions, and some that are the regular ones that they add, the year one pass, so one every month. Those coupled up with stuff like the Hoonitron. Ones that are notably missing is cars like the most recent, the Hoonie Pegasus, which they have, which is a souped up, I want to say something. It's some kind of Porsche. They all look the same. So
they all look the same. It's a generation of 911. It's one of the newer ones, I think.
But the cars from Hoonigan that we have is Scotto's 911 Turbo RWB, the Hoonigan Mustang, the e-tron Quattro Hoonitron, made by Motorfest. I don't think this thing exists in real life. Mitsubishi Lancer Evo X, and the...
I mean, it's basically a base Lancer with, a hood exit, Matt.
Yeah, hood exit. I think it's been just devoured on the inside. Like, everything's been chucked out from the inside, and some more stuff that's not noticeable is probably custom. And then...
It's got slicks.
And then slicks, woo! And then the Audi S1 e-tron, but in the racing spec in the game. And the island is also, it's just off of something harbor, like something Point Harbor, Barber's Point. And now, there's been a lot of things which are like, hey, they should add an island, because there's two islands that are off the map in the game. One of them is based on Kauai, and one of them is based on Maui. Now, I did a developer interview, if you're subscribed to the Stick Drift podcast. Did I say the wrong thing there?
No, I was going to say, what was this one based off?
Yeah. But those two are based off those. But when I asked the developer of the game, the head of the game, he was like, yeah, no, we kind of just did that so you can see stuff in the distance in the game, because it wouldn't make sense if you couldn't, because Hawaii's a bunch of islands.
Why is this one very polygonal? You can see it's got like the line up, angular up. It
really is a very polygonal map, yeah, which they didn't have to do. It's not like it's that, like it's a mess.
I hate it when my volcanic island forms like a hexagon.
I think we're well past making sense of the law, but it is odd how that line there is such a that's a straight line. That's a
most of them are straight lines. It's like
there's a scientifically straight line. It's very odd. Yes, you're right. It's a very unnaturally formed island. This Hoonigan Island that they've made.
This is just proof the Hoonigan Island wasn't formed naturally.
Exactly. I mean...
Next episode on crew law.
Exactly. The crew's always been on their Dubai behaviour, to be fair. Motorfest, the Crew 2 got not only a bunch of tracks around the map, but it once got a full island placed in one of the oceans in the game, which was like a Trackmania island. And this time around, we've got an island which you described the size as...
Just a car park, really.
Yeah, like an Asda car park. I said that's a Black Panther, and he was like, it's a pretty big Asda. But
Maybe a Tesco, big, big Tesco.
I was like,
with a
that's what I
24
said.
hour.
I said Tesco, but not Tesco Extra, Tesco 24 hour. I said that exact same thing, car park. But this thing right here is the brand new island they've added. So, that's everything there is in the update. Including a playlist with, including a playlist.
Great update.
As well as 3 months worth of, like, the live service content.
Are we not going to spoil the Summit cars for everyone
We
here?
will. The Summit, 3 months of Summit's main stages and other features that are live service based. The Hoonigan playlist features, I want to say 10 events in total.
It is 10.
Yep,
correct.
10 events in total. It's got 10 or like 12 side activities for slaloms and photo ops and whatnot. And then a bunch of challenges, which I've already done half of and I've not actually been trying. So that's great for progression. So
I imagine they've done the lazy route and it's just use X car or do X amount of events.
Also, we got the return of Season 9 cars like the Audi RS7, the Audi RS3, the Mazda Cosmo. Oddly, they're bringing back the Nobles and the base Mitsubishi Drift later. Weirdly. So, that's strange that they're not just bringing those back day one. I am going to chuck it over to you. What do you think about the update? Also, thank you to Ubisoft for providing us early access. Go ahead.
I've got to try and think of something positive to say. I like the cars.
The cars are pretty cool. I mean, yeah,
This is not 3 months of content. This isn't 1 month of content. This is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This whole Into the Storm, Into the Blizzard style of content delivery is an absolute joke, in my opinion.
So,
Dumping essentially 10 events at launch. That's it. That's all we're getting for 3 months.
Yep.
Bearing in mind 2 of those weeks, 2 of those months are 5-week months as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't enough to do. All of this can be completed. If you want to pace yourself, you can do all the events day 1 and then all the skills day 2.
2 days. Like, I finished 15 playlists while playing so much PvP and doing so much else with my life in 30 days. 15 playlists, 30 days, 2 days. Yep. It would take
There is 2 days worth of gameplay. And, I mean...
3 months.
If you own the season pass or year 1 pass, you even have to buy all the cars.
No. All you have to buy is, I guess, if you didn't play the Crew 2, you'll have the returning cars, right? I suppose, and it's annoying that this is how they do it. It's content for people who never played the game before.
Yep.
Right?
If you're new to the franchise, there's probably enough content for you here. If you have played a Crew game before, this is a joke.
Someone I talked to made a very good point though, that someone was like, "Oh, what if it's because we transferred our cars?" But
they advertised that so hard. That was a main advertising feature of the game.
Yeah, sure. But content-wise, the gameplay would still be the same. Like, there'd still be exactly nothing to do apart from grind. Yeah.
Hummery Express for 10 hours a day.
Like, the only thing cars would add is a slight dopamine hit every week-ish, and on average, and that's it. Like, it wouldn't add substantive content if we didn't transfer our cars and just had every car to get still.
There is a shocking lack of content.
Instead, it's just focusing on the main stage. It's the Forza route, and it's annoying that it's the Forza route. It's focusing on the main stage. It's using the Chevy Big Block, cool car. It's the main stage reward. And then there's going to be another main stage, and another main stage, and then the Summit.
Summits are kind of a joke at this point in time.
Summit rewards have been a bit terrible forever.
Not like this is the final straw. But...
Okay, so we got a new vanity for the first one, nothing else relevant. We got a return vanity, nothing else relevant. Then we got a new vanity, nothing else relevant. And then the first Summit car of the season, 4 months into a brand new game, the first Summit car of the Hoonigan update is a re-ran Summit car. It's the Magma Edition Bugatti Devo. Is the first brand new car. Well, it's not brand new. It's the first summit car of the update. Already rerunning summit cars. And the thing is, like, what? Okay, so the main stage, the last update, or the launch update, there was one new main stage car, and then the other two were reruns. So what? If this one's reran, and then the next two summits are summit cars, then what? We either get to choose between a main stage car and a summit car instead of actually getting two. They're trying to do Forza content without having the Forza enough shit to throw at the wall. Like, they're doing Forza style without Forza substance.
No word on fixing any real problems either. Livery editor is still broken. No word on that. I did have other problems. I had 3 problems in my head before I said that, and they've all gone.
They did some quality of life stuff, like you can finally delete the ghost cars that drive around. They've got visual backfire now. There's some...
So they've added 2 things from the Crew too. Man, that's great quality of life.
You can transfer parts from your cars with.
That's
just
not new quality of life. That should have been in game day one.
Also
same with Backfire. Backfire was a bug. I guarantee it. It's not a new quality of life. They've patched a bug.
To be fair, they didn't say Backfire anywhere. I just noticed that it had Backfire finally. They
fixed the bug.
They didn't advertise like, by the way, new Backfire, yay! Instead, it was just like,
Part switching is from Crew 2. Yep. Advertising it as a new quality of life feature is...
Yeah, they didn't
kind of funny.
They didn't really say returning anywhere, which was kind of,
brand new, groundbreaking feature they've just developed. They'll add scrapping mailbox sooner. I don't know.
Well, they didn't say brand new, old, but I get your point.
They
did not say it either, So
yeah,
but I will say I've played the playlist. The playlist is pretty fun, but there's just not enough of it.
I played 7 of the events before I got bored, so I mean that tells you what you need to know. It's really fun.
But I actually really enjoy the playlist. The playlist features races, drift events, but with a twist, and Gymkhana. And this versus that. The series.
Yeah, this versus that.
Where
but this versus that's a cool. I'll give you that. Those are fun.
Yeah, you pick one of the two. You pick either this or that, and then you race the other one. The races and the drift events are like they were previously, a regular race and a drift event where you score points. But now we've got a brand new modifier called the Gymkhana meter. And that one gives you a bunch of extra money, more than the clean driving ever did, but only if you perform a bunch of unique stunts. So you've got 5 levels to it, 5 levels to it. And you can do a bunch of stunts, but you won't get any higher in that one level if you're doing the same stunt to max it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then you level it up, then you can do the same stunts again, etc., until you max it out, and you get a fair bit of money. I think I've gotten 9,000, something like that.
It's a cool modifier, right? I get the...
And you can attach
that to any
event. It works in
the... Yeah, it's not useful any other event, though.
Sure.
It works in the Gymkhana events.
Yeah.
In any other event, it's kind of pointless.
Well, because the thing is, the Gymkhana events give you all the stuff there to do different types of skills. You
can't exactly do all the different skills in Hummery Express or
right? Or
one of the motocross races or
exactly.
something like that. The only motocross race.
There's not enough stuff in any other event to be stopping 20 minutes to do a 360 spin just for a few more points to get the Gymkhana meter up.
The events are cool, right?
Again,
my main gripe is brilliant idea, implemented in an okay kind of way.
Yeah, pretty well.
Events are fun. There's just nothing there.
There's not enough. There's just not enough.
A day to play the events.
Black Panther.
That's where the fun stops.
Yeah. Black Panther Theo mentioned it might be because they're divided with the Crew too. But the issue with that is...
All 4 staff working on the Crew too must really have been instrumental.
Neither of them are good now, though. The Mad update was rubbish. I forgot it out.
Car implementation should be... If it isn't one team together...
Yep.
Ivory Tower, get a grip.
I don't know, but I mean, the Crew 2 getting Gordon Murray and Motorfest just having to deal with it some other time, that sounds like the Crew 2 team is getting cars. You know what?
If there are two teams split, it is literally Crew 2, Crew Motorfest. No communication, no joint. Cars should be both. If the Crew 2 gets them earlier, sure, I don't care. But it should be one team.
Yeah. And then there's also the issue of, like, there's like, oh, maybe they were just done way in advance. The Gordon Murray was announced while the podcast existed, and that was well within Motorfest ability to add it into Motorfest was existing, right? Like, they've added all these Hoonigan cars. They easily could have chucked in Gordon Murray, because it was the Gordon Murray car itself existed only recently. So it couldn't have been that, oh, they were already planning it years ago, and now it's finally coming through. Like,
thing is, right, if they want to keep Crew 2 going at the same time, why not have they just implement B-Tech Motorfest ideas? Like, you get a B-Tech, what's it called?
Hoonigan?
Hoonigan, that's the one. You get a B-Tech Hoonigan update.
Yeah.
Where the skills aren't mad. They're the Hoonigan stuff. They're like Hoonigan skills.
Yeah. Like,
so one team can work on both games instead of just having one team going, oh, what can we do for the Crew 2? Mad. Powered by Mad. Yeah. That's a great idea.
I mean, eventually, I imagine they'll do Mad, and then there's one more other update, and then I imagine they're going to sort it off. I imagine they're going to switch to just patches, is what I've heard. That they're going to just switch to
return on investment has got to be in the bin for updates.
Yeah. But the thing is that I think that after that, the biggest issue is 3 months for one playlist. That's the biggest issue. We've talked about this on the playlist before. Hoonigan up playlist, great, brilliant. The fact I have to sit around and do nothing now. I think it's just because
we were spoiled in the Crew 2. We got an event every 2 weeks-ish for the Crew 2.
Yeah, like roughly, right? And then just, updates like US Speedtor had one every week. And, like, yeah, on average.
So every week you could go on and do the event, and then you might, I might as well do the summit while I'm here, because the summit rewards were unique.
Yeah.
In this game, you get 10 events day one. All the summit rewards are basically rerun vanities, or vanities that nobody knows about because they don't advertise it anywhere.
Yeah.
So nobody plays the summit. Nobody comes on to play the events. The only reason someone would have to load up the game after they've played the events is to free run.
Yeah.
So there was no reason to load up the game after you played the events.
Yeah.
Because the map's so small, you know every inch of it.
Mm.
PvP's not getting updated. Oh, you're getting 2 new Grand Race routes.
Was it only 2? Was it only 2?
2.
Wait, did it say 2? Only 2 new?
So I think someone in Motorfest chat said it, but yeah, I think we're only getting 2 new routes. No new demo royale because
no changes, no qual.
The second they need staff anywhere, PvP support. I mean, it's already in the bin. We're getting 2 new Grand Race routes. Waste of time.
I mean, all the Crew 2 got as a PvP update after PvP first got added. The only thing it got was, oh yeah, we've added some new events. We'll put those in too. That's the only update PvP ever got after being added.
And they can't do that for Motorfest because they're not in-game events in the races.
They'd have to actively do something interesting with the PvP routes. Is the issue. They'd have to like actively. I mean, I've got a full list that I could go into, but we'd be here all day. So maybe someday we'll do like on a non-news day. We'll just go through my like 4 or 5 lists that I have of how to fix this damn game on a slow news week.
But overall, this was my opinion on the update. My opinion on the update is, what is there is good. There isn't enough of it.
And that's what I.
That is the Crew Motorfest in general. That is just
like.
But Ivory Tower are never going to do anything about that. It will always be good ideas, half baked. And might as well have just not done it, really.
The base game is there, but it just like the graphics pretty good, the car's pretty fun to drive, the playlist pretty well done concept in the 15 there are, and then that's it.
How many weeks is this update?
14.
There's 10 events. So give us one every 2 weeks or something, please.
Yeah.
Please. There's not less content. It's just released so poorly.
I mean, the thing is the issue with that is maybe that'd be too long and people wouldn't finish the playlist, right? Because you only get the challenges after you've done all the events, right? You only get the skills after you've done all the events, right? But if they did it across...
Make skills on day one, then. Make skills on... Every skills on photo ops day one, and then you get an event I don't know, maybe you get, because there's more than every 2 weeks. There's 14 weeks, 10 events. Maybe we get 2 or 3 events on launch, and then we get one every 2 weeks.
I mean, here's the idea though. Here's my idea, right? Playlist every season, every month. Playlist every month. Now again, they don't have to be great. Only one has to be Hoonigan, and then the other two. I mean, Hoonigan is a great situation where they could add the rally cars from Hoonigan and do. It's not Hoonigan related. Don't treat it like it, but do a rally playlist with the one we talk about, where there's actually no map and there's a code or whatever, and have Hoonigan as like 2 of the cars there, and drop 2 rally cars with it, and then maybe another and then that would be an easy one to do, and then Motorsports 2. Done. Make it a sequel playlist. No new concept. You don't have to sit there and use your brain for anything. You could just do, hey, Motorsports is back, and this time they're road tracks instead of the racing tracks. They're road tracks this time. Done. You don't have to think of a new concept. You don't have to do anything new. You don't have to make any new artwork either. You can just do Motorsports 2, and then you've gotten 2 lazy playlists, which will still have they'll still have the skills, the photo ops, the challenges, and do those for month 2 and month 3.
I think a playlist a month's too unrealistic.
What if
think about it? We're getting the same amount of content we were in the Crew 2.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels like we're getting nothing because it's paced horribly.
Yeah.
It's paced for the average TikTok user who can't wait 2 nanoseconds to get their content.
Yeah.
What they should do, if they really want to do a playlist on launch, we get 2 playlists for the 3 months.
Yeah.
One, everything on launch, like the Hoonigan, it's all detailed and you get all these new cars and stuff. But one, like, it's like a tie-in, like we get Rally because it's Hoonigan or something, and we get an event every 2 weeks for the rest of the thing where it's just, oh, here's a new rally race for this playlist. And you get like a new challenge, like 1 new race, 1 new challenge every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Just a reason to load up the game in a way that makes sense and isn't really too hard.
I mean, they could easily make the challenges weekly. You're right about that. That like, well, as the playlist events come out, they could do it like weekly. They could do the challenges come out 5 at a time, and then their weekly challenges like the Crew 2 used to have that would actually bring people back and then make them do something. You know, things aren't advertised.
Make Summit rewards, not Crew 2 reruns.
Yeah.
Why would I play the Summit if it's? I'm not spending an hour and like 10 minutes of my life playing a Motorfest Summit for a Crew 2 vanity.
Yeah.
Like, I do not care, Ivory Tower. Please.
Yeah. And PvP, like, it needs to be the best for money, for one. 2, that's the best. That's
maybe not the best, but better because it's
yeah.
tragic.
But use that, right? People sit in the lobby for so long. Advertise there. Put a little in the middle of the right of the screen.
They need to update PvP if they're gonna.
There's also that. But in the middle right of the screen, advertise the custom show. Advertise the summit.
God, the custom show existed.
Right? Advertise the custom show. Advertise the summit.
Do something with the custom show. Add incentives like a 10,000 crew credit reward if you make it on the top 10 or something. Just something that was so negligible for Ivory Tower.
I don't think top 10 should get a reward because I mean technically it already does.
10,000 crew credits buys you like a tenth of a vanity.
No, yeah, sure. But the real issue is voting right now. No one really votes. They need like 10k XP up to 5 votes per day. Done. An average level is 200,000 XP.
Is that enough? I would.
I mean, for 50k XP.
It's like 400k a level though, isn't it?
It's like 200k a level.
Mad, you get quarter of a level.
Okay, sure, up to 10 votes.
I could play
20K.
2 demo royale events and get that. I'd actually have fun.
Whatever assortment, right? To 10.
Rework
100K.
the custom show completely.
The idea's there. The concept's it's interesting.
It's like all Ivory Tower ideas.
Yeah.
It's like the Motorfest. The tagline of Motorfest is good idea. There's just nothing there.
Yeah.
It's so empty.
Yeah. And especially if they're already working on the next game, who cares then? Then it's just like, whatever. Okay, fine. I can't wish there's something good with them. Like, they're never going to be able to do a playlist a month without, if they're doing the next game, right? But again, just make up lazy playlists. People mentioned an issue where it would just be too crowded in the yeah.
Just take the Crew 2 races. Just copy the layout the best you can on the Motorfest map and just make a please, just a race.
Just something. You just want something.
Use the random race generator, just put races, anything. Please, content.
Yep. But what I was gonna say is people would say, oh, there'd be too much clutter on the map. What I propose for that is you have active playlists up to 10 that everything of those playlists is currently seeable on the map. Everything else is deactivated as if before you've even started the playlist. If you want to do a different one, you just click it, swap it out for one of the ones that's currently active. Done. Now, not enough.
I mean, they could do it the way the Crew 2 did. Because you had multiple races that started at the same trigger, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you could flick through them into the different layouts. Why don't they just do that?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
Another good Crew 2 feature that wasn't used.
Because again, like, surely they'll have to do that at some point if we're going to get 10 events a playlist, and the map looks like it does right now. The map is as crowded as it is right now. Like, they're going to have to do something like that at some point, because there's just going to be too much of the festival everywhere. And I already want to be able to turn off the, like, little balloons and the flags and the banners. I want to be able to turn that off already. So it's not looking good at all for them. And the island...
Add more Demo Royale. Look how many places on the map aren't used for Demo Royale.
Yeah.
Just literally copy the ring from one area. Move it and put it down.
Yep. They could do limited time stuff. I mean, there's so much more rewards they could do for Demo Royale. They could do
limited time stuff. The one member of staff on Demo Royale is not making limited time mode.
I imagine half his day is dedicated to Demo Royale. But yeah, it's just like the island's cool. The island is sick. The island's
PvP
cool.
is being abandoned. I can see it now.
First
major update, and we're getting the only PvP change is 2 new Grand Race routes in 4 months when they need members of staff on something else. This PvP's gone.
But the island's cool. The island's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Once you've done the events, would you ever step foot on the island?
I mean, you're asking the wrong guy. I quite enjoy drifting around the island. So did BP. So did Alex Evans. So did most people. It's pretty fun to drift around it. It's a nice island to just drift around.
If you don't drift around in free run, is there any reason to step foot on the island?
No, I would only go on there to drift, but there wouldn't be any other reason.
So there is no point.
I mean, if they made the island only slightly bigger, it could have been a DR zone. Like, if they just made it DR zone size...
That would be such a good idea.
It could have been a DR zone. Like, and I mean, now that the island's
could be a Hoonigan-themed Demo Royale.
Exactly, right? Like,
that would be such a good LTM.
This area, now that the island's there, this area's got flat, it's got up and raised.
What if...
This area could be used for Demo Royale now.
What if every update they added that theme thing into, so like the 2 new Grand Race routes, if the island was bigger, were part on the new island, and there was one Demo Royale encompassing the new area.
I mean, they could easily start a race on the island now. They could end a race on the island as well.
Yeah, that bridge would be hell, but
Sure. I mean, they like doing that. Is the thing they love doing
28 cars funneling into that.
They absolutely they'd make it monster truck. They love doing that. They are funny with their Demo.
Make it AGP. You end up ramping off into the water.
Exactly. I mean, they do stuff like that. But that's the thing, is it's just so... There's so many better ideas they could do. I'd happily
If there was a Demo Royale, a new Demo Royale zone on the island, day one, I would have played it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, they're not doing enough to get all the
players. If there was
new
Grand Race routes on the new area, I would have played it.
I mean, there's smaller things as well, right? I mean, you know what? There's these M's here as well. They could have done stuff like a plane / something else route that goes over the island or whatever, but whatever. There's little things that they could do, not even related to this update. Like, you know how
Why didn't they tie in those Crew 2 stunt things? Like, some stunt style skills on this island would have been cool.
Yeah. But no. There's also the idea that I had, and it's very little. It's very, very little. But you know how there's stock Motorfest assets, and they get replaced by, in the Summit, and if you do revisit, they get replaced by whatever the color scheme of this current week is, whatever the art style.
I do not care. I want content.
No, sure. But, like, you know how they do the color scheme changes based on whatever the background is of this, right? That style, the main stage style every week, that gets swapped out. The stock assets, add way more of them in Demo Royale and Grand Race. Even do that to the environmental...
One person working on PvP is having a fit right now.
The environmental objects, do it to them, and do it to the checkpoints in Grand Race. So that the checkpoints every week, different color scheme. The environmental obstacles in Demo Royale and more Motorfest assets, different style every week. And then people who just play the PvP would actually feel like, oh, something new is going on this week. Like, oh, it's Wednesday, the banners that I was looking at for the last week, the checkpoints, the environmental objects, all of the assets littered around Demo Royale and Grand Race, they're now a completely different color scheme because it's and like, look, it says the name, it's Gymkhana whatever this week. It's so little, but it would just round off the edges of everything being a conclusive
They're
week.
so far away from little things mattering. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I mean, that's the issue, right? Like, that's a cool idea, but they just wouldn't do it. Update good. Not enough of it. If it was...
I mean, of all the complaining, the update's good. It's just, there's just... I mean, what's there is good, not enough of it is just, I think, going to be the review to every single update for this game.
Yeah, and... I like... I mean, what I thought was funny is that...
Updates Demo Royale!
What would be funny is just if, like, they just start putting more islands around the map now, just like this, until the entire map is just tiny islands. That's the goal. And I hope they
just
do
loads of, like, little bridges coming off the island.
They're all just, like, the island ends looking like a cell, is what happens. Like, it's... But, yeah. Honestly, I'd say if you disregard quantity, I'd say, if qualitatively, I'd say it's like a 8, 9. Quantitatively, it's like a 2, 3. And I think
they combined for a 5 to make it just mid.
Yeah, just like a, it's great.
It is an update.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, yeah. And now
if you like Hoonigan and all you do is cruise, this is probably a brilliant update for you.
And if you haven't got a bunch of cars, a bunch of cars are returning, meaning it feels like there's more stuff going on, because cars that were already in the crew too, they're adding like 5 cars on launch if you've not got those cars already. Same with when they drop the Nobles, because they're dropping those separately. That's not going to be year 1 pass, that's going to be just a brand new drop, and if you don't own them, it's, whoa, 2 new Nobles have added to the game. There's substance for someone who is just starting the game. But if they keep focusing on that, this game is going to have the quickest turnover rate of players imaginable. Like, more than Forza, and they give that game away in the Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I guess we're just going to have to see what comes of this update.
I know what's coming. They're not going to change their ways. It's going to be this for at least the first year of the game.
Well, because they need to see that it doesn't work, right? Presumably they have the next 2 updates ready.
The issue is, what if they don't care?
But, well, they're going so for the Forza style, right? I mean, they're just going to be
I feel
this.
they've doubled down on this.
They'll keep doing this. Then year 3, they'll add... something microtransaction-y, year 3, because that's when they'll need funding for the next game. They'll do this for 2.5 years, then they'll do year 3, and that'll be something microtransaction related. Probably more content as well, because of the microtransactions, and then we'll just get a new game 3 years after that. And we'll be stuck in that cycle for every crew game until I'm old and grey and have bought a Lamborghini off of YouTube ad rev. So... that's the hope. Fingers crossed. Unless they make a good game, in which case I will have bought a Gordon Murray if they made a good game instead of a Lamborghini. Gordon Murrays are more, right? They're more, right?
Yeah, I mean, depends. I think Gordon Murray's like 1.1. I think you could probably get more, like, what's a Cyan 1.5? I don't know what Cyan costs these
Well,
days.
there you go. I'll get a Cyan. But that's only if we're Cyan some good updates.
The day they add new Demo Royale stuff, I give an update a 10 out of 10, no matter what. So.
Honestly, we play a lot of Demo Royale. And Demo Royale's pretty fun. If you want,
Demo Royale is all I literally since probably the first month of the game. All I've played is Demo Royale.
I've thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? If you do want to see some videos of, I'll just like hit record while me and Josh play Demo Royale, and I might put up some videos of me playing Demo Royale, and I'll force him to play some Grand Races too for the thumbnail. But
Grand Race. Yeah.
But yeah, the PvP, great.
PvP is the best thing about this game.
They're not
not
doing much with
going
it.
to update it. It's gonna be left to rot like Crew 2 was.
I would truly wholly take a unpaid internship of ideas, so I can just sit there.
That's most
be
of
like,
devs.
so I can just be like, okay, this, Fergus, do this, please, Fergus, do this.
The issue is, as ideas person, you would never be able to speak to Fergus.
Yeah.
You'd have to go to your line manager, then they'd go to general manager, who would go to like ideas manager, then it would go to senior management, then it would go to Fergus. So by the time it gets to him, it's so watered down and like game of Chinese whispers that it's something completely different.
I think he said something about.
He said add one playlist and update with no content, and Fergus is gonna jump in there and go, brilliant idea.
So he said something about. The demo, I think it was like demo.
He wants a demolition derby race in
Bring
Street?
back the magma. Bring back rerun Summit cars 3 months into the game.
Maybe
That's
someone
what he
said they would like a mega summit, and
That
it got charged at the Lions and
yeah,
magma.
that's what it was. He was like, this first one, it's the new Hoonigan update. It needs to be mega. Yeah, so he said something about this is the worst update. Do the magma, so we'll run that preferably.
Yeah.
Big block Chevy, cool car. All the new cars coming out, cool cars. Honestly, cars wise, the update's pretty alright, right? Like two a month.
Focus
plus...
solely on the cars is probably like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, again,
unfortunately,
quality.
driving the cars around the map for no reason is just a waste of time. So.
Again, yeah, quality wise 8. Quantity-wise, 3. So
it's got one rating. That's impressive.
I said 2 or 3 before, so I add on the side.
It's a locked in for a 3. Locked in.
And we'll consider that part of the gaming segment of the Stick Drift podcast. I think that's most of what we can review. I don't think there's much else. No, I mean,
I can't review no content, so yeah, that is about it.
We're also getting Scotto's. Audi Coupe Quattro, and we're getting this Chevrolet. It's like an old Camaro.
Their base version. Do we know? Are there base versions?
Yeah,
of the
we
big
don't
block?
have the base versions of
Camaro?
the big block
Or the Audi.
Or the Audi and the Hoonigan. We don't have the base versions of.
Do we not have base versions of the big block?
I don't think.
Big block in the image on screen now, the big block 3rd gen Camaro.
Well, that we don't have at launch at all. That, the Porsche, and the Audi are year 1 pass, to be added later.
Oh, so there will be no base version of that. Okay.
Yeah, unless the 2 year 1 pass cars are the base version and the Hoonigan version, which would be kind of funny.
MX-5, does that exist?
So that's in an event. And that's the last car that we do know about but don't know about, or that do know about but they haven't confirmed.
I mean, there's cars that are to be. Yeah.
We don't know what a lot of the cars are.
I don't know. I can't say anymore. I've reached a list of memory.
But the MX-5, there's a Drift MX-5 in one of the events. Really weirdly.
Yeah.
So there's.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a Drift. See, the funny there was you said it slightly wrong, and I laughed at you for slipping up. I
don't even remember saying yeah, so yeah.
Because you didn't. You said yeah. That's why you don't remember. But that's about it for the Hoonigan review. Quality A, whatever 3. Okay, who cares? Gaming segment of Stick Drift podcast. Forza is a video game. They had things sometimes. They do stuff like cars sometimes, probably.
Forza? I went on the game. I drove out of the home and then closed it.
Was there anything new? Did they advertise anything new?
They had American cars.
Yeah, I think they're just doing a bunch of American cars is what's been going on recently for Forza Horizon 5. Some like I think they added the GTO the Judge. Yeah, the GTO the Judge got added recently, and people were.
There was a new car pack, wasn't there? There's microtransactions in the game now. You can buy cars with.
Oh yeah, you can buy. We
IRL
talked about
monies.
that like a
Yeah,
while
that's
ago.
finally in the game.
Oh, is that only now actually? Okay,
Yeah.
Lincoln Continental as well as something to do with a
Like
the kit
people
cars
clearly do.
Is that a Noble Rossian Q1? Well, the caption is, this hit car has a Noble in all cap, with a capital N, the history. Is that a Noble? Is that what that is? Like, I don't know.
Looks too well built to be a noble. Oh no, I've seen the exhaust cows. Never mind, it might be. They measured that in inches to cut that gap. What is the clearance
I
on
mean,
that?
it doesn't say in the seasonal either, but the Continental, I believe they're in spring. Continental's the big exclusive, small exclusive is the Rossian Q1, and then also Silverados and whatever they're adding else. Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess we'll find out soon what the next month is, I suppose.
Yep.
Every month
Can't
being
wait for more
something
cars.
cool, new. Whoa, imagine that. And then test drive.
I'm sure the studio is still open.
And then Need for Speed.
There is.
And then Gran Turismo 7's chilling. They're fine. Car X Street. Oh, Car X, on the other hand, Car X Drift, is getting crash damage. Oh, whoa!
Where is Car X Street? Is it like a government secret? Like what? Why does
on mobile is where it is. On mobile, that's where Car X Street is.
Surely that wasn't the PC release meant to be like a year ago now.
December last year. Yeah, I was talking about that recently. It was announced before. I think it was scheduled to be released before TDU Solar Crown was announced, like the first time at least. Something along those lines.
That's impressive.
Yeah, right. I wonder what the longest racing game announcement to release is. That'd be a very interesting thing.
Well, it's
going to
be TDU.
You reckon? I mean, when was TDU?
Do you reckon?
Uh-huh.
Test Drive Unlimited test.
First teaser or reveal or announcement, I guess, right? Announcement, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Because they've been taking
3rd of July 2020.
I mean, that's only 3 years.
Been 3 years, 3.5 years.
I mean, there must have been a game that took longer than that. Forza Motorsport, the new one, surely? Or was that not that much?
Maybe 2 years maximum.
Okay. I mean, I guess, you know what? Someone look that up. And
Did they announce TDU before they'd even started working on it?
I mean, probably.
3 years ago at this point, and the game's in the state that it was shown in.
I mean, the game's probably nothing like it was in the mind of whoever was working on it back then, right?
I mean,
like,
how quickly they go through staff balance.
Yeah, I mean, and the strike, but apparently that was nothing to do with. I mean, who knows? Who knows, right? So we're still waiting on something from TDU, but that thing's not coming out for a while. Then
It's gonna be another newsletter with no actual substance to it.
Yeah,
Bring it on.
And maybe a new trailer, but that'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know. Then we've got, I suppose, what other games are there? Nothing.
Yeah, but
Game Awards is soon, actually. Game Awards is very soon. That's
can't wait for Crew to lose to Forza.
Is that the 7th or is that the 8th?
8th.
It'll be very funny if Crew loses to Forza.
It will, because no regular votes are only 10% of the way.
Yep. Like, I will make a video if it loses to Forza Motorsport, which it will, and that's.
I mean, you haven't played Forza Motorsport, so you can't really comment on it.
I mean, yeah, yes, but I mean, if I'm looking at just.
What if Forza Motorsport is Game of the Year? What if you download it right now and it is Game of the Year?
Okay, look, I talked to Black Panther and he was like it wasn't, and I trust Black Panther actually, so because we're best
I
mates.
have never formed an opinion based off someone else's ever.
Never. I mean, I'm sure if you played the game once, did something wrong yourself and span out, you'd call it worst game ever.
I would call that car of the year if I was in PvP and the car just had no rear traction.
Yeah. Sure. Of course. I mean, the general consensus is of both games. Like, people are like, oh, there's no content anymore in Motorfest, but they're still like, hey, this was a pretty good game. Like, we enjoyed this surprisingly. And Motorsport, they were like, hey, this is a pretty bad game. We didn't enjoy this surprisingly. So, you know, there's going on general consensuses.
You never know.
It would be very surprising if... No, it wouldn't.
I don't know why I'm defending Forza. I hate 5.
It'd be surprising if Motorfest won. And I think it would actually be so huge for the crew.
What if FIFA wins?
I said that to Black Panther. I was like, what if FIFA wins?
There is a universe where FIFA wins this.
Right. There's a universe where F1 wins this. Hot Wheels Unleashed.
F1 more deserving than FIFA.
Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 could win it. A game no one even
Milestone
knew
deserve
came
it.
out.
They need the money. I need them to make Ride 6. I need them to give them the money.
When did Lego... I don't
2K
remember
Drive.
the name. 2K Drive. And I'm the one who played the game and I don't remember the name. Lego
It's free
2K...
on PlayStation Plus. That's game news.
Yeah, okay, well there you go. Lego
There you
2K
go. That's
Drive.
some
When
real game news from the dome.
that release? May of this year. That should be on there before Hot Wheels Unleashed. I've never played it. No, I can't.
Hot Wheels Unleashed is a game people enjoy. I have never heard a soul mention they've enjoyed 2K Drive.
Okay, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I enjoyed it until I didn't. You know. It was
How much
like
is how much fun did you get your £100?
I spent 100 quid on that game.
It was like 121. It was more than 100.
There's a Supra in that game, so I might go back to it some point. You know, I might go back to it. There's a Supra. Okay, there's a Supra in that game. All right. But
Actually, if you didn't stream that to recoup any of the money, that would have been a massive loss.
you know what's wild? Lego 2K Drive. You know what Motorfest got, right? It got a 7 out of 10, right? 7 out of 10 from IGN, right? Lego 2K Drive got an 8 out of 10 from IGN compared to Motorfest. And that's very funny. Oh no. But yeah, that's everything in gaming.
That is every game news.
That's every game ever made.
This decade.
Yeah, that is pretty good. But from that to also I tried out the OO vest, which I can talk about. Wow. Ow and wow. I see the logo now. I get why it's called OO now. It's because that's ow, but the letters are flipped. It's because that thing hurts. But it's actually quite interesting though. Like, I feel the car. I can feel if I'm in a road car going off-road. I can feel... Like, I remember when I took it off, I noticed that the wheel had vibration and force feedback as well. Like, I completely forgot that. That became like a secondary thought to the fact that I'm feeling the car move. Like,
jump the Clio off a ditch to simulate how realistic is the OO
Yeah.
version? Just ram the Clio into a ditch.
but mostly you feel it on your back, because obviously the seats, like, you feel the rumble when you're revving, and you feel the acceleration when you're speeding up, and then you don't feel it when you're way further up speed wise. If you brake, you get a sensation in your like abdomen too hard, and it's in your chest. And that's supposed to be like a weight shift, but maybe I don't have it high enough. It just feels like a tingle in my belly when I'm braking.
You probably need it higher.
Yeah. Like, I feel like it's actually supposed to, like, lean me, because that's a thing it can do. It's all about involuntary muscle contractions. But, like, it can make me lean forward, and I suppose it's supposed to do that. And if you crash... your arm hurts. It hurts your arm, the side you crashed on, and it hurts your chest, mostly. Which, if I think about
Grand
it...
race is going to be an absolute disgrace.
If you think about it, that makes sense. Those are two things that would probably be pretty hurt if you got rammed in the side
I
by
imagine
something.
if you got rammed in the side of a vehicle, it would hurt.
Your arm and your chest. It was to the point where, for one crash, I actually instinctively braced myself. Like, I arms crossed like Wakanda forever, or I'm a West Ham
Like
fan.
he's in the WRC, he's about to go off the ditch.
Like, I braced myself. Like, I did. I was drifting, and I lost control, and I was about to go into a container, and I braced myself. I mean, hey, It's pretty cool that that's something that naturally came to me. Clearly, I should be a WRC driver.
Naturally ready
Like-
to bid it into a wall at any moment. He's ready.
Like, I've never had to brace myself in a car before, right? Or in anything. But the fact that I knew to cross arms to brace myself, that's big. That's big. I'm a safe man, clearly.
Where else you put? I'm gonna put straight up.
I mean, yay! It's, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Some weird side effects were because I felt the cars so much. Also, I've never been that good at drifting. Like, I was drifting so well because I just had information. Like, I could feel when the car was sliding out.
Almost as if having the information, any extra information, is beneficial.
Exactly. Like, when I stopped using it, it was just so... It just felt so, like, it just felt annoying. It just felt annoying not having that info. Again, I was noticing the force feedback more, and I was like, well, this doesn't tell me anything.
It's because the drifting force feedback is so counterintuitive in the car. Yeah.
You also get, like you get centrifugal force weight shift. Like, if you're drifting
with that forces, it'd probably be easy to tell when the car's about to overdrift, and yeah.
Like, the more you drift right, the more all of the feeling of the seat and everything goes to your left, right? So there's that. Very, very, very interesting, honestly. Very cool thing. So I was saying that because I had so much information, and that's how your body processes stuff, and I was wearing it for so long, like 2 hours, 3 hours, and after I stopped wearing it, playing the game made me motion sick.
Got motion sick playing the Crow.
And gave me a headache, because I was so looking at the... I've not been able to not notice this. The headlight's bugged, no? Like, I've got this on the screen right now, but that's not what that's supposed to look like, right? Like, I don't know how Noble make their cars, but is that not melted? For audio listeners, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a rear light that's
I don't know
melted.
how you describe this to an audio listener. It's like a light that's the circle in the center of the rear brake light has morphed into a 6.
Yeah, it's so weird. But
is it meant to look like that? It might be like a gimmick. I don't know.
I just couldn't unnotice that. But like I was saying, I got motion sick from not wearing the vest. Because I'm seeing the vehicle that I've been so attached to feeling.
I mean, if you get used to drifting the car using the feel of the vest,
yeah,
you no longer have the vest, so now your brain's gotta go, huh?
Yeah, like my brain's like, oh, the car's moving. Why don't I feel like I'm moving anymore?
Yeah.
I think the one thing is it could go a bit heavier on the wind, but I guess I wouldn't feel wind in a car, so. You know,
what do you mean go heavier on the wind? I don't driving down here, I'm gonna get blasted.
I don't know, maybe I want to turn on the... Well, maybe, what if I could turn on the air conditioning, and then it gives me, like, a light wind effect? As if I've got the air conditioning on my chest. But, yeah.
Did you try the bikes? What are the bikes?
I didn't. I should have, because for wind, right? Because the wind, like, the test version of the wind that you can do, full, like, I will, like, be held back. It's insane. It's weird having my body involuntarily move. But... Oh, well, that's pretty cool, honestly, and I can talk about it now as well.
Not worth 500 quid, I would say. But yeah,
well, 500 euros, so like 450 quid, something like that.
Well, the Motorfest one's basically for 539.
Didn't get a Motorfest one, wish I did though. But then we have, then that's about it. So what has been going on?
I mean, this game segment's been like 5 years long. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, because Motorfest was there too. But then, what is going on in the world of motorsport? Bearing in mind, we didn't actually talk about F1.
Yeah, that's why I had to get it up just now, because I was like, oh, there's nothing happened. Oh, didn't talk about last week before last.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the season closer to both race series, F1 and MotoGP.
Was it as epic as it should have been? Was it as...
both the races run at the same time.
Oh, so which one did you
watch? The
only
time this season they're on at the exact same time, and it's the finale, so... I did have F1 open, but I mean, it's Abu Dhabi, so the racing is going to be subpar, to say the least, and it was about what I expected. What were the gaps? I mean, you can never guess who won. Yeah.
So you're saying Sargent won?
Total domination this season. I don't know how...
I expect.
Get him in a Red Bull.
He'd already won the Constructors, so...
I mean, Sargent is confirmed for Williams next year. They confirmed him 2 days ago, I think. So,
yeah. Was he racing for Williams already? Was that who he raced for?
Yeah.
Okay,
then the video
yeah.
of him shaking hands with James Vowles and.
Oh, well, there you go.
Waffle.
He said his.
But yeah, it was Verstappen 17.9 seconds to Leclerc, and then it was like 20 seconds or something to Russell or something. It was
And
it was your average per session race for F1, which I mean. They should never end it at Abu Dhabi. It should always end at Brazil. End the season at Brazil.
Is Brazil the most fun one?
It's a good track. It actually works. Functions as a racing circuit. Use it.
I mean,
It used to be the season closer.
How bad was Vegas in the end? Like, actually, as a track? Because what, it was the upside down pig? Like, what actually happened with it?
Depends. I thought it was it was mid at best. Everyone was like, best race of the season, best race of the season.
Oh, okay.
Because someone got close to Max Verstappen, basically.
Well, I mean, was it Williams? They have fast car, right?
Yeah, Williams.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
that is textbook Williams disaster class. Was Vegas?
Oh, was it not Williams?
Williams they're so afraid of losing track position to pit because they can't fight through the traffic. Their strength is we're quick in a straight line. We'll keep everyone behind.
Yeah.
They are so deathly afraid of pitting early.
Yeah.
They will always pit late. There were 2 safety cars, and both times Williams stayed out to maintain track position.
Yeah.
The tyres were getting absolutely decimated.
Ugh.
So Albon, there's no way I'm going to find it.
Sure.
No,
but what happened? Yeah.
But Albon was on like 30-something old mediums or something. Like the worst tyre choice for that stint. And he was like 30-lap old ones trying to fight off people. They qualified so well. They qualified like 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
Just to be given horrendous strategies by Williams. Yeah. What was I on about? Oh, that was a tangent. I know that was a tangent
Williams
from something.
bad. Williams doing bad at Vegas. Which I brought up because I was like, how bad was Vegas in the end? Because you said Brazil was good and Abu Dhabi bad.
Vegas was alright. It needs to be earlier in the year so the track's warm up, which I think is next year. Next year will be the real test. When it's warmer and there's not all this new track malarkey. So next year will be the real test for it. But I think it'll be alright next year when there's not all this stupid waffle going on. But yeah. Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Boring race. Nothing happened really. I mean, it was... Yeah. Yeah, that was that sums up. I was thinking of something to say for Abu Dhabi. I mean, it's not a fun track to drive. It's not a fun track to watch. I don't think anyone enjoys it. MotoGP.
I'm sure Max very much celebrated his win amazingly, and he was like, "Oh yeah, woo, yay, woo! I'm so glad I won this."
Yeah, I mean, there's a Red Bull won every race of the season bar one. So yeah, there were some good races, but. When Williams do bad and the race ends like you'd expect it to, it's boring. MotoGP.
Yes.
I did have it open before I started searching Steam database, so give me a minute. There we go.
Yep.
It was it Malaysia? No, it was Valencia. Malaysia. Valencian GP with an actual title fight on to the last race. There was going to the final race, there was only 14 points between first and second. And they qualified, because someone got a penalty, first and fifth. I mean, the way it had to work is Jorge Martin had to win, and Bagnaia had to come 5th or higher to win the championship. No, for Jorge Martin to win, he had to come first, and Bagnaia had to be 5th or lower. Yeah, and for Bagnaia to win, he just had to come either ahead of Martin or top 5. Martin done a usual.
Which one is a Martin usual?
When he's in front, he is insanely good, insanely talented. The second he drops behind, he gets desperate. Very desperate. He was in the slipstream with Bagnaia and on this like lap 3. Went to overtake, hit him, and went deep into the corner. And then just darts back across onto the track in 7th place, which should have been a penalty.
Going for like a hit on this?
He didn't mean to. He didn't.
Okay.
He got sucked into the slipstream on a turn 1 on the back of a long straight. It was average MotoGP moment.
Yeah.
But then because he's in seventh, he has to win essentially to win the championship, and he's now in seventh on lap 5 of 30, I think it was. So he gets very, very, very desperate and starts dive bombing everyone. And in the end, he dive bombs Marquez. Marquez, who's usually dive bombing everyone else, he essentially, you getting a comb and a calculator.
Yeah.
Calculator is Mark Marquez.
This is for the video viewers.
For video, video viewers are getting this exclusive.
Yeah.
This is Jorge Martin coming. What's the best way for you to
Yeah.
coming around the corner like this? Just.
Oh, okay. Just like
Generally like a 20-mile-an-hour difference. Just
Yeah.
absolutely decimates him and sends him into the
Okay.
launches him and then crashes himself. So then that was, then Bagnaia won the championship in that moment, and then, yeah, pretty much from then on. I mean, KTM threw away a 1-2 because once Bagnaia knew he wins the championship no matter what, he kind of just gave up.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Got overtaken by both the KTMs. Binder then outbrakes himself somehow and goes wide and drops back to 4th, I think. I always forget the name of the second KTM rider. I feel bad, but he crashes out on turn 10, which was a known crashing out place because cold track, darting left. He was off the racing line, so he ends up binning it into the gravel. And then D'Antonio ends up doing an insane, I think it was 11th to 2nd on last year's Ducati. Ends up pulling an insane race like that, which basically confirmed him getting, because he wasn't going to have a ride next year. Because he was terrible the first half of the season. Like, actually, he was the slowest of any Ducati rider. And then when it was confirmed he wasn't having his seat next year, he just remembered how to ride a bike and started pulling out, he's on last year's bike and was pulling out like podiums and like second places. He won a sprint and an actual main race. It's like he just remembered, oh yeah, I've got to win if I want to keep a seat. So yeah,
Has he
and the same 11th to 2nd. Yeah,
has that done anything for him? Is he like?
Yeah, he got a seat. He got a seat basically because
sweet.
of that. Really.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's on the VR46 team. Because someone, I think is it Luca Marino? They're all European. Their names merge into one in my head. One of the VR46 rider he's replaced moved to Honda.
Yeah.
Which is career suicide.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Moving from best bike on the grid to a team that came. I put it in Motorsports chat. It won't be too far up. Be an image. But they came so comfortable. There was testing as well. I forgot. Yeah, Ducati. Well, there's 5 teams in the championship: Ducati, KTM, Prix, Yamaha, Honda. Ducati got 700 points. Yeah. He was on that bike. He's moving to the team that scored 185 points with 4 bikes over the entire season. A bike that Marc Marquez just couldn't ride because it was that bad.
Yeah.
They either gave him a fat paycheck, a really long contract, or he's the biggest Honda fanboy known to mankind, because that is a wild move. But yeah,
I imagine
Antonio's got a Ducati right now because of it.
A big paycheck will probably do it. I imagine. I imagine a massive paycheck probably. It's a bit of fun.
But Honda have a chance. Actually, no, Yamaha is screwed. But because Ducati are just beating everyone at the minute because they have 7 bikes on track. Is it 7? No, 8. Cause 8 bikes on track every race. So they have the most data of any team for setup and improvements they need to make. So they're just wiping the floor at the minute. So there's now a concession in for the next year. It's not 2024 yet. Next year. I'll send you the image because this is going to be hell to explain. But if video viewers can watch this when it sends, there you go. Percentage of points earned gives you different levels essentially. So there's A, B, C, D, 4 categories: 85 points, 85% of the points, 60% of the points, 35, and less than 35. You get more tires to test, the less points you score, so you can develop setup better and stuff like that, and develop upgrades. You get more testing the lower down you score, so you can better develop setups, better develop upgrades. You get more wild cards, so you can better develop tab, set up better develop
Yeah.
upgrades. But if you come dead last, you get engine development is unlocked,
Yeah.
which is massive. Because usually the way it is, you rock up to the start of the season, the engine specs you have in place then, you cannot change for the rest of the year.
That creates an interesting dynamic where it's like
Honda can now dump millions into R&D for an engine just to
Yeah.
build an absolute rocket ship if they wanted to.
Like it's like you try and come low, but you want to come low. You want to come low enough that you're the very bottom. But if you're
It
not
wasn't
the very
even
bottom,
close. Honda are that
Okay,
bad at the minute.
okay, good,
It's
yeah.
not Yamaha to be that bad. I mean, there were 50 crashes on the Honda main team alone. There's another team running Honda. So
yeah.
Honda were terrible. They were nowhere this year. So for Yamaha to even feign some... I'll get to why they can't do anything, but anyway. But yeah, Honda will next year get 260 test tires compared to Ducati's 170. 6 wild cards compared to Ducati's 0. They get 9 or 10 engines, which I don't know why isn't all, but yeah, they get 10 engines for the season instead of 8, so they can run them higher tune. So if they blow up, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And they have 2 aero upgrades as well. So whereas Ducati might be able to only change the front wing for this coming season, Honda can add a new front wing and a new fairing wing or something, so they get more aero. Yeah. But this will benefit Honda massively. I think by the end of the season, they will be a comfortable midfield team with this concession system. Because they can probably get another 10, 15 horsepower at the engine, and with an extra air upgrade. If they are still last, do they deserve to be in MotoGP?
I mean, I love how you said dumping millions, and then it's, they'll be about middle of the field. So
they will never, like, they're so far behind. KTM and Aprilia are trying carbon fiber frames.
Yeah.
Honda are just getting aerodynamics on the bike. So, we'll get there eventually. But yeah, Yamaha are so screwed. They have an engine freeze, which is their biggest problem at the minute. Wait, I was another thing. Are they... I think 2 teams get an engine on freeze, actually.
Oh. I mean, this thing's too
Here's
small. Video viewers.
Yeah, Yamaha are also in Category D.
Okay.
Yamaha get an engine on freeze as well. But the problem they have is everyone else has developed a V4 engine. They are running V4 engines because it's more compact, more powerful, more torque. You get better drive out the corners. Yeah. Yamaha are the only team running an inline 4, and they've said they don't have the money to change.
Yeah.
Yamaha's problem is the i4 is great if you're winning because it's wider weight distribution, but essentially the Yamaha is built for turns. The Ducati and all the V4s essentially are built for straight line and getting out of corners and stuff. If the Yamaha's behind a Ducati or anyone running a V4, it cannot overtake. But because the i4 is so underpowered torque-wise compared to the V4, this engine unfreeze will not net them any real benefit, I don't think.
Yeah.
Especially considering the other people with an engine unfreeze are running a better engine architecture. I just think that Yamaha... I mean, they've done pre-season testing, post-season testing, really, in Valencia. They're running a Ducati, not Ducati, Aprilia. They've got a carbon copy of the Aprilia front wing. And just like a very similar rear wing, where it's just a big tube thing. They're out of ideas, I feel. They're not running a carbon frame like KTM and Aprilia. They just don't have the funds. Yeah, that's MotoGP, really.
Well, there you go. And that is the 2 big... Well,
Williams are winning the World Championship next year. Pre-season testing, P1, P2, 5 seconds clear of the rest of the field.
I mean, I will do my predictions when the season is rolling up to
Once
start
you've seen
again.
pre-season testing, you can make your predictions.
Exactly. And
I solely on liveries like I did last time.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I was about to say that. I'm so much more hyped for the liveries. Like, that's the thing I find cool, is seeing the liveries. So I'm actually way more hyped to look at the new liveries when those come out.
They're
But-
not going to be really that. Sauber will have a new one, but yeah, Williams. I'm going to make a bold prediction now
Okay.
for Williams in Bahrain. They will be fifth quickest car. They're going to be dead midfield. Dead midfield.
There you go. And hold him to that one.
If they're not, I never said it.
But that's about it for this special episode of the Stick Drift Podcast, where we talk about the new Hoonigan update, GTA 6 trailer tomorrow, Hoonigan update day after that, and then the Game Awards the day after that, and Fortnite just
Stick
got a
Drift
big
Awards
update.
need to be soon as well. They
Stick
are
Drift
later,
Awards.
They are going to be soon.
Yeah, Stick Drift Awards. It's December now. Stick Drift Awards are coming up. And Fortnite is getting a Lamborghini. Forgot to talk about that.
And a
And
McLaren.
a racing game. Like, a racing game as a whole in Fortnite's Battle
I mean, that's going to
Royale.
be a video, so.
Yeah. We'll see you boys next week on the Stick Drift Podcast, where we'll talk about GTA 6 and other aforementioned
I mean, no more
upcoming
racing game news actually now, forever. So,
for
not forever.
Forever. They're not making
Until-
any more racing games.
Basically
Like,
until
shut
February.
down.
So,
Well, there'll be.
no driver signings. They're all signed. Sergeant was the last one.
Do you mean racing games or motorsport?
Motorsports.
That's the one. You said racing games.
It's late. It's 9:30.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, we'll see you boys in the next one next week in a bit.